Namaste and hello. My name is Yogi Kai, and yogi is a term that means both teacher and student, as far as I understand it. And I think of myself more as a student than as a teacher, even though I've been trained as a teacher. And I appreciate you coming to the channel and seeing these videos, or this video, or seeing it on Facebook, or however it came around. I am offering these little talks as a sharing, not necessarily as a teaching. Although if you get something from it, that's awesome. I want you to get something from it. That would be great. If I could share my experience and my understanding and it helps you in some way, as far as I'm concerned, that's the best use of my life, is to learn stuff myself through my own experience and through what I study and am interested in, and the unique way that each of us process information based on our particular set of circumstances, which no other human being in history has ever experienced. If we can share that uniqueness, that unique perspective, without disrespecting anybody, without blaming anybody, without, this is just what my life is about. This is how I think, it's what I do, and if it resonates really well with you, I can share lots of stuff with you, putting out these videos and whatnot. As you can tell, I'm not a professional videographer or YouTube personality. I'm just some guy who actually is a nobody. I'm nobody special. I'm just another person. So, today's talk, or today's sharing, has to do with gaining respect. And when I say gaining respect, I don't mean gaining respect from others. People can disrespect me all they want. Somebody got in the comments and just said how horrible of a person I am. I know that what they're talking about is their own thoughts, their own interpretation. Little story for you. About 10 years ago, I had a lovely girlfriend who had a very intelligent son. Actually, a couple of very intelligent sons, but one of them was very into computers, and he went to a special school that I believe Bill Gates had started. And he was telling me how, I loved this about this young man too, because he was like 16 at the time and he had the insight for this. He was telling me about how he had this horrible thought about this teacher that he had. He felt that this teacher was just a bad man. He was a bad teacher. He wasn't a good person at all, and whatnot. And then one day he had left the class, and he was coming back, and he heard the teacher and a student talking on the inside. So he was polite and stayed outside, but he also could hear what they were talking about. And it turns out that the student came from a very poor family, and the teacher was talking to this young man about the student was talking to the teacher about the financial situation that they had, and the teacher actually pulled out his wallet and gave the guy some money, and to help him and his family. And that completely changed my friend's son's view of this teacher. So the point of that is, for a long time he saw this person only in a certain light, because he only witnessed certain moments out, like freeze frames out of a movie. But once he was able to open his mind enough to be able to see, oh wait, this guy may be stingy, he may be a jerk, he may be this, that, and the other, but that's not all he is. He's a lot more than that. So I would like to share with you a practice that I started some years ago, quite a few years ago, as a matter of fact, which is okay. Before I get to that, I want to share a little story from my own experience of life. I was raised, uh, well, I had a lot of abusive people around me when I was young. And when I say abusive people, I don't mean not everybody was beating me or anything like that. There was only a couple of people that did that. Um, but other than the females in my family, with the exception of my sister at that time, although later she came to respect me, but when I was a young child, I was called stupid a lot. And I grew up believing that I was stupid. It wasn't even it wasn't even a something to argue. It wasn't an opinion of mine. It was just this is what I knew because this is what I was trained to believe. And so for many, oh, and I was worthless and I would never amount to anything, and that part was true. uh, at least so far. I don't mind saying truths, but even if I become famous and super wealthy and all of that jazz, I still will be nobody. At least that's my hope. But if you keep watching these videos, you'll understand what I mean by that. Anyway, so after I ran away from home, I uh, I continued to believe that I was stupid. Now I read a great deal. I constantly had a book in my hand. I remember walking down the street constantly reading a book. My mother has a picture of me when I was like 6 or 7. I had fallen asleep with an open book in my hand. And so I was constantly gathering information and processing information. But in my mind, I thought I was stupid. Nobody around me thought that after I had run away from home, but I always did. And I always thought that I was all these other judgmental, horrible things. So, fast forward about 25 years or so, 20 years, I guess, from that point. It occurred to me, and I don't know whether or not this came from a reading or some other person, but it's something I adopted. If I continue to talk to other people in disparaging ways, then I remember what that felt like. And it didn't make me feel good. And I was much less likely to be kind to someone who was calling me names back then, who was confirming my own inner suspicion that I was stupid and worthless and so on and so forth. So, it occurred to me that if I don't say anything to anybody that I wouldn't say directly to the face of and about the person I respect most highly, and I can leave that statement right there. The person that I respect most highly. Then what would happen is everyone would be raised, in my opinion, to that level of the person I respect most highly. I could not say to anybody, "You're stupid," because I can't say that about the person I respect most highly, or the people I respect most highly, my mother being one of them. And I can't say that. You're stupid. It just doesn't, there's nothing. I can say you're ignorant because we're all ignorant about something. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, in my opinion, we're all much more ignorant than we are knowledgeable. There's so much information in the world. So much information in the universe that we just haven't even been introduced to yet. So much ignorance. To believe that we know everything there is to know about anything at all is necessarily an ignorant thing. Anyway, so I made the vow not to say anything to anybody that I wouldn't say about to the face and about the most respected person or people in my life. But I had to include myself in that. I couldn't call myself stupid anymore, because I used to say that in my head all the time. Oh, I'm just so stupid. And no, I can't say that. I'm extremely ignorant. Oh, God, there's so many topics I'm ignorant on. But, no, can't call myself stupid. You're welcome to call me stupid if you want. It doesn't matter to me. I know that my opinions are going to run counter to other people. And I figure, well, if the only information I had to go on was the same information that you have to go on, your own experience, all the information that you've collected in your life, and that's all that I had to go on, then I would think like you. I would believe like you. Even if your beliefs are absolutely counter to mine, I would believe like you if the information that I had, the only information I had, was the information that has crossed your path. I would think like you. If the only information that you had accumulated in your lifetime was what I've accumulated, then you would most likely think like me. Maybe that's not true. I don't know how to confirm that. But it certainly seems logical to me. So, I invite you to try this practice, this continual practice. Make a vow. And now, I was told by an abbot of a Buddhist monastery that a vow is a guideline. You try and stay with it. It's something that you're really working toward. You want to work towards it sincerely. But if you fail, well, it's a guideline. You failed. Okay, reconfirm your vow and start again. This moment, this moment, this moment, this moment, this moment. So, see if it works for you. See if this resonates for you. Does it seem accurate to you? Do you think that let's say that you're a Christian and Jesus is the person who most floats your boat. And I use Christianity for two reasons. One, I was originally raised a Christian in the Baptist church. And two, a friend of mine who I got into a conversation with last night about Christianity. So it's in the top of my mind. But so let's say that Jesus is your guy. That's the guy you respect the most in the world. Now, if you could not say anything about anybody personally, like you're ugly. Well, is Jesus ugly? You're stupid. Is Jesus stupid? You're a fraud. Is Jesus a fraud? Would you say that to his face? Or would you treat him with respect and give him the benefit of the doubt? In all circumstances. And that's what I invite you to do with the people in your life, the people that show up in your life. Whether they're in black and white or in color. Had a girlfriend once who used to say that someone who, how in a black and white movie, if someone shows up in color, they really stand out, right? And so the people who really stand out in your life, those are the people who are in color. Those are the people who you need to have some sort of interaction with. And it's liable to be quite significant. I'll be walking down the street and see somebody who shows up in color, and no, it's not just the pretty girls. And I'll go up and talk to them because there's some interaction there that needs to happen. I'm always grateful when people show up in color. And the black and white people are the people who are very peripheral to your life. You go to the post office, and the person behind the counter, the people walking around back behind the person you're interacting with, they might be considered black and white because they don't really have any interaction with you. If you've been on the spiritual path for a long period of time, then everybody is in color in a certain way. But I digress and I go off into a different topic. So give this a shot. Don't say anything to anybody or about anybody that you wouldn't say to the face of the person you respect most highly. Try it for a month. This includes talking to yourself, your self-talk. Do your best not to say anything about anybody that's not positive, that's not, I would say complimentary, but my understanding of complimentary is kind of like fluffing their skirt, so to speak. It's not necessarily honest. A compliment is not necessarily honest. It can have all kinds of connotations with it. But a positive thing that is truthful in your own opinion about that person, and say only that. Give them the benefit of the doubt. That doesn't mean give them the PIN number on your bank credit card or your bank debit card. That means if someone tells you something that seems a little outlandish, ask them about it. Get more information. Don't immediately assume that they're lying or it's negative, or not negative, but that they're lying or untruthful. Find out what information they know. Remember that the information that has come across our desk in our lifetime is what we got to go on. And there is so much more information about every topic that we're just not aware of yet. So give people the benefit of the doubt. I think that's what Jesus meant by turn the other cheek. Anyway, that's my sharing for now. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Please, if you enjoy my chats, my sharings, please subscribe, like the video, share it if you can, if it's yours to do. Be well. Namaste.